today I'm so excited to welcome Rashiqua Feroze, personal branding strategist, LinkedIn whisperer, and the woman high executives call when they want their ideas to sound like them, just with better lighting and a stronger verbs. She took a love for storytelling and huge skill sets in marketing and turned it into a career, a business, and honestly, a whole new industry. Hi, Rashiqua. Welcome to CEO Unexpected.
Hi, Janima. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. More than talking about, of course, I'm really excited to talk about LinkedIn personal branding. But more than that, I'm happy to be here with you. And I love the reason why you started this podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm really excited to have you here, and even more excited to have someone with kind of your path, your career, helping us understand how personal branding works. So let's get to it. First question I usually ask to all of my guests: if your entrepreneurial journey was a book, what would be the title, and what's the plot twist no one saw coming?
So, if my entrepreneurial journey would be a book title, I think it will be something around how you can find opportunities by being visible. Today being visibility is a currency that you have. Earlier people used to say your network is your net worth. Today, visibility is your currency. The more visible you are, the more opportunities you will attract. So, and in today's podcast as well, you will see me using these two words a lot: visibility and opportunities. They're like going line in line.
That's perfect. So very excited to get to know
Yes.
more. So on this path, which I like to call the unlikely road to CEO, to business owner, to starting this entrepreneurial journey, let's rewind. Let's go back to very young Rashiqua and tell us, what was your first job and what did you learn from it that maybe you still use today?
So I will talk about my first internship first because I started that when I was in college when I was like 18 years old, and it was about marketing an app. So
Okay.
I was always a marketing girl, even if I didn't know this is something that I'm gonna do later. And my first job was of being a senior content writer.
Okay.
And actually, that job is the one that helped me learn everything from storytelling to technical parts about content, SEO, structuring, formatting, all of that. All the credit goes to that specific job and the agency that I worked at. So I can say yes, definitely. Being the senior content writer, followed by the content manager managing a group of writers, it has helped me understand the power of content, the power of storytelling, SEO, and today personal branding is a mix of all of that. Storytelling, SEO, visibility, because the more story you share and the more you talk about your niche, the higher visibility you get, all because of search engine optimization. So it's all linked.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because me, for example, storytelling speaks to me.
Yeah,
I
course.
love. I mean, that's something I that really resonates with me. Can you tell us more about SEO for anyone that doesn't know? It's not as technical as you. What it is and how impactful it is.
So search engine optimization refers
You got
to
it.
yes, SEO means search engine optimization. It refers to something like when people search about a keyword, a name, a question, what are the results that the search engines like Google and other search engines provide. Let's say you search for personal branding in Dubai. So they will give you the names of a few agencies that provide personal branding services, freelancers, individuals. And if you search for personal branding strategist in Dubai, you will find Rashiqua Feroze on the first page of Google.
Love that.
Yes, so that's all about search engine optimization. But for our viewers, I would want to give one more point, which is AI optimization, AI engine optimization, because yes, Google is very important and a lot of people still use Google. but more people use ChatGPT
Yeah.
and Gemini AI today.
Guilty. Guilty, for
Yes.
sure.
So you need to work around AEO as well now. AEO over SEO.
All right. And does it work the same? Like the way you optimize for, I mean, the way you would optimize for search engines like Google, is it the same you would optimize for AI engines like ChatGPT, or is it different?
It's almost the same. You need to have a stronger impact, more valuable impact in your niche. It's
Okay.
not just about flooding with keywords
Yeah.
and fluff content. Something that provides value to humans is what will provide value to AI.
Okay.
So, what is valuable to humans, AI is also going to crawl that and give that as the result. So, yes.
Gosh. So yeah, it's very important. And the more I hear about it, the more I feel like, we come into a world where if you don't jump into this train
Yeah.
now, then you can be, it's not just that you're going to miss the train, it's that you're going to miss the whole destination, everything,
Yeah.
because the technology goes by so fast that you become irrelevant very quickly if you don't get
Yeah.
up to date.
Yep, AI is a part of our daily routine these days, and if it's not a part of your personal brand, then you will be lagging in the race. Come on.
All right, so many work to do. I'm thinking of my personal LinkedIn, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so much to do. So before we jump into what you do now, do you think there's any, I would say, chapters, any person that shaped you, the career you have chosen, the entrepreneur journey you have chosen?
So, to be very honest, my father, like since I was a child, he always had this vision or dream for me that I would start my business as I grew up. And I would be like, I mean, why would someone have so much headache of running their own business? Like, I'm going to do a 9 to 5 where there's like a stable income.
Yeah.
I'm going to come home in the evening and chill, no headaches over the weekend. And I'm going to have like a relaxed life. I mean, why would people even go for business? It's not for me. And that's what I started with, I started with a job, although it was not 9 to 5 exactly because it was during COVID. So it was a remote job, and we started around 11 and it went like later in the evening. But when I started doing my business, I realized that there's no going back from here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely different. So yes, I think my father, I would say, would be the one who has instilled that in me. And the fact that he was always there supporting me, encouraging me, that plays a big role in why I was able to take that leap from a job to being a businesswoman.
Oh, I love that. What's the name of your dad?
Rashiqua Feroze.
So I'm afraid I won't be able to pronounce, but Rashiqua, Dad, thank you so much for shaping such an amazing entrepreneur today. And I think we've talked about this before. One thing that I found very interesting in the way people come into entrepreneurship is that most of the time they had a figure within their very ecosystem
Yeah.
or very close circle that embodied in some way or another that entrepreneur journey, and that's kind of the catalyst to
Yeah.
them shaping that. How much do you think this is important, and how much do you think it influences your ability to start a business? Whether, for example, and I'm talking about myself, me in my ecosystem, I have no one that has started a business or is an entrepreneur, and so I found it at first very difficult for me to go through this path knowing I have no one to look up to that has and I feel like I don't want to give a percentage, but I would say if you have someone in your ecosystem that has started a business and you're maybe, let's say, 50%, you have 50 more chances to actually start a business yourself. Do you think I'm right, or do you think it's completely off?
To a great extent, yes. I mean, if you have someone around you, let's say older siblings, one of your parents, or close aunts or uncles, they definitely do influence you because you see the positives.
Yeah.
as along with the negatives, you also see the positive side of running your own business. And especially if you are already in a 9 to 5, you know,
Yeah.
like if you're already doing a job, if you're already employed, then you have that chance, or you feel like trying that because you're seeing the positive sides as well. You've experienced one part of the work
Yeah.
ecosystem, working in a job, coming back home, and you're like, okay, let me try the other one as well and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then once you go there, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
what
like,
happens. So
no,
yeah.
it's very interesting because I've never seen it that way. But you're right. You know, me, for example, not having anyone that has gone through the entrepreneurial journey, I tend to focus on the negative of being an
Yes.
entrepreneur. And I didn't, as you said, had the positive to balance with. But when you do have those examples in your life, you do see the messy middles and exactly what this podcast is about, like how difficult it could be. But also you see how uplifting it can be, how
Yeah.
fulfilling it can be.
Definitely.
And that's maybe the missing part in some of those people that would have the skill set to start a business, but are still like in this kind of shaky, terms where they feel like they want to start, but they feel very afraid of starting. Which is a perfect leadway to our next questions, more
Okay.
specifically to personal branding. So when you started, it was still at. I mean, the industry of personal branding was still at its very early start.
Right.
Was it difficult for you to start your career in something that people didn't really understand or fully comprehend, or do you think actually the opposite, because you were the only one, you get all the clients but no one realized how important it was yet?
Yeah. So while I was like one of the very few who was starting into personal branding, the difficult part was making people understand what personal branding is. You won't believe. So like there's marketing, there are other services that
Yeah.
people are already aware of. So it's easier to sell. Like they know they need it. But when you're in that position where you have to first explain to the customer that you need the service and then sell the service to them, it's next level. So of course there were challenges for sure. But yeah, did I did like make founders understand, and a lot of them did that. Yeah, it does make sense. And more than founders, I would say executives
Yeah.
were more up for it at that time. At that point of time, founders are more about their brand. They're just putting all the money in their company. Marketing for the company, sales, all of that. And me, like my personal brand, I don't need to do anything. No, I need to focus on my product or service. And executives were like, okay, let me build my presence so I can get more high level opportunities, more senior opportunities. But I'm so glad to see that today, every individual professional, freelancer, executive, employed individual, founder, entrepreneur, business owner, everyone understands
Yeah.
the importance of personal branding, of building a name for yourself. Because let's say I meet a stranger today. What am I gonna do? Like, if I want to work with you, I'm gonna either search you on Google, ask AI about you, or just go to LinkedIn, because that's the professional platform, right? So I'm gonna put your name out there to check your background, your story. Are you credible enough to work with? So it's it's much less. The importance is much less today.
No, and I truly feel like, as you said, high executive needed that because they needed to assert somehow their position with
Yeah.
kind of a credibility. So that's why I'm sure your first clients were mainly high executives.
Yeah.
And to be fair, even me now, when we started talking, I realized out of all the people I follow, I would say 30% of them are actually high executives, which was not the case before. I think before you were more in your network of, at least for LinkedIn, you had more of your actual network. So people you do know, or some people in your industry. But now I follow some CEOs in industry that I know nothing about. But just as you said, I was appealed by the personal branding. So that's first. And then another thing I realized, but tell me if I'm wrong, is that, as you said, personal branding helps you gain visibility, credibility, but also now when you're in the job market, the first thing any hiring individual would be doing is search you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And what they're looking for is not just a resume, like the paper resume, the PDF resume you send them. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for anything that doesn't transpire from your resume. And I think that's what LinkedIn is now. So even just for junior people, early career people, or like mid-level people, very important. And I'm saying that to my audience too. Very important to invest in curating your LinkedIn page or, you know, all of your personal branding, because this is the first door to any person looking to hire you into who you are, what can you do, what kind of network you're providing, especially for mid-level. That's very important. So yeah, I think we overlooked the aspect for far too long, but now we cannot.
Yeah.
We have to delve into that. Now that's very interesting. So kind of just for our audience to fully understand, to not be like the early people you were talking about before. So can you explain to us what personal branding is? So what do you do? Who do you serve? And what problem you're solving for high executive, for young people like me, for anyone out there?
So personal branding is basically showing yourself, like gaining visibility through your story. Just talking about yourself, your experiences at work, your personal experiences, why you're doing what you're doing, what's the vision behind it, and then kind of showing bits and pieces of your personal life as well. Let's say depending upon whether you want to showcase yourself professionally or personally, which platform are we talking about? If we're talking about LinkedIn, you show a little about your personal life, but more about your professional life. If we're talking about other platforms like Instagram, you show more of your personal life along blending that with your personal life. So personal branding is basically putting yourself out there so people can learn about what you do, who you are, where you're coming from, what's your vision like. So whether I am interested in your story or not, whether I should be working with you or not. So that's what your personal brand does. And how I help people is, so I help people in different ways depending upon their requirements. Let's say talking about founders and senior executives, I help them be more visible for their industry through storytelling, why they started, what they're doing, what's their vision with that, and how are they working with their customers, how are they working with their team, showing the behind the scenes, because that's what hooks people.
Yeah.
That's what helps the audience connect with you. And so what I do for them is building their personal brand from scratch, managing it completely from strategy, from posting, engagement, networking, growing the entire presence on multiple platforms, primarily on LinkedIn, because that's the most important when it comes to work or profession. And when it comes to other individuals who, let's say, want to learn and do it themselves, I provide consultations and workshops. So my workshops are like monthly, sometimes once in 2 months, depending upon the demand, I would say. So I cater to the demand. But yeah, mostly personal consultations for people who really want to grow their LinkedIn, who want to understand how it works. And so you can, do it yourself, because that's the best way to do it. Like, if you have the time, put yourself out there. Just you don't even need to do a lot, just a little bit showing, okay, yeah, I went to, like, today at my work, this is how my day was, or this is how my office is like. And talking about things that people don't see on Google
Yeah.
or on AI. Like, sharing the personal insights that you learn from your experience that someone who is 2 years behind you or 1 year behind you in your industry would want to know.
Yeah.
Just sharing that. People say like, oh, my story is not even that important. Oh,
Yeah.
my insights are not even that great that people will find it valuable. But trust me, even if you have worked only 1 year in the industry, someone who's a fresher right now
Yeah.
would find value from your experience and from your stories. So that's what you gotta put out there.
Yeah, and that's one thing I realize, and we I mean that's something I that resonates with me. I do think that in our, which is very weird because at the same time we have AI and fake pictures and fake videos circulating everywhere, but I do think authenticity is the key, I don't know, like metric that people are craving for. And so whether it's on social media, whether it's on any platform, people are attracted to people that at least looks authentic. And I think one thing about LinkedIn is that because it was so professional, we tend to have this kind of pitch perfect image on LinkedIn, not showing anything that was not because we were afraid it would look back on us. I mean, look bad, sorry, on us. But actually, maybe that's, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to show yourself in your most authentic way. And to me, that's the only way you make impact, you have like genuine conversation. You also learn, because if you're always wearing a mask and showing, I mean, putting your best foot out the door, let's say, and always showing the best version of yourself, then there's no room for also constructive feedback on ways to improve, which I think is very important. If I only show you the best I can do, well, I mean, you cannot help me be better. And at the end of the day, that's our goal for all of us, is to improve and always be better than we were yesterday. And I don't know, I feel like sometimes people feel like if the thing is not pitch perfect, they cannot post it. And I used to be, I mean, to be honest, I used to be one of them. I used to be one person that, since LinkedIn had this draft features, I have so many, you'd be shocked how many draft posts I have on my LinkedIn that I never had the kind of courage to post. And then I realized, khalas, at the end of the day, if people want to hire you, they want to hire you for you. If people want to connect with you, they want to connect with you and not the image of you that you're trying to sell. So don't feel like because you don't have big things to tell that you cannot tell them. It's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
I think that's...
And I think the raw side that you show in your post, I mean, a lot of people don't post just because, it's not perfect or it's not valuable enough. That's the biggest thing that's stopping them from posting. But one thing is, once you start and you keep putting yourself out there, people connect with the raw side of you because that's more relatable. If you're just posting like perfect stuff, your perfect side of life, at some point of time, people would know that it's not completely true. It's just the 50% of your life, right? So the remaining 50%, which is the real side, that is actually what helps connect people. And when it also comes to recruiters, they're looking for something unique about you. Like you're just like everyone else in the room, every other applicant. What makes you stand out? The real part of your journey, the raw part of your journey, is what makes you unique. It's what makes you stand out. So you definitely need to show those sides where you think it's not good enough, but yeah, it's unique enough. So that's what needs to be out there.
That's a good message for any young professional out there. Just put yourself out there. And now coming back to the target audience that you have. So you do work a lot with founders, with high executive. Let's delve into founders a little bit more, because I do think, but tell me if I'm wrong, for founders it's even more valuable because then it impacts the way their brand is seen, kind of, par to par, meaning the more visibility they get, the more their brand, product, company get visibility.
For sure. I mean, traditionally, people were only putting money in their brand marketing, in the company's marketing. But today, what I tell my clients is, we're going to market your product, but through your story. Because That's what people connect with.
Yeah.
When you're sharing about why you started, who the person is behind that product, who the team is, human faces, because people connect with people more. And if a person is talking about the story of the product or the service, it's way more relatable, way more connecting than if you're posting the same story from the company page or from the brand page. So, today, let's say the brand page or the company page is like a supporter, but the main page is that of the founder. So founder-led content is doing wonders today. It's, people remember people. Let's say we remember Bill Gates.
Yeah.
We remember Elon Musk. We remember Mark Zuckerberg, right? And through them, we remember their brands as well. So,
that's very true.
And, talk about Winfrey Oprah, so talk about her. We remember her more. So, people remember. And today, look at their brands, look at their following. People following is way stronger than their company pages following. So it's very simple. It's very natural. If you're going to talk about your product or your services from your personal page as a founder, you're going to get way more recognition for your story. And through your story, people are going to remember your brand.
Yeah, and that means more sales, because that's the most important. So tell us a little bit, because now that we see that, I mean, I'm convinced. I see the impact. But is there any kind of hidden return on investments, ROI metrics that we don't see, or are we looking at the right metrics? For example, I will look at followers, likes. Is it actually the right thing to look for in personal branding? And is that what you see a success in personal branding by the number of likes and comments, for example?
So the first metric that we see, the impact that we see, or the ROI that we see of personal branding is actually not tangible. It's about the impact that you have on people. And trust me, even if you're posting just for 1 month and then you go to a networking event or you go in the middle of your community, you're gonna hear real feedback from them that I've been reading your post, I've been looking at your content and I'm loving it, keep going. Even if they are like passive viewers, they're not interacting with your content, trust me, so many people are viewing your content and they're looking up to you, right? So I had a client, let's say someone who knew me for a year. We were connected for 12 months. And after 12 months, she reached out to me that I've been following your content for 1 year and I love what you do. And I would like you to help me with my personal brand. So, okay, it took like 1 year for the person to be ready, but they knew about me from day one. So you won't get instant results in that way. But when it comes to metrics, let's say numbers, of course it's important. We all want to see the results of our investment. So the metrics that I look at for my clients, let's say starting with LinkedIn, is post impressions, profile viewers, search appearances. These 3 metrics are like the behind the scenes that actually show the real impact of how many people are viewing your profile, how many people are viewing your posts, and how many times are you ranking in search and for what keywords are you ranking. I mean, I see people all the time saying, oh, I got these many likes, so I got these many followers, these many comments. Oh yes, that's it gives you a boost. It's nice, but I would say these are vanity metrics.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they make you happy, but are you getting the real impact? I mean, you might get 10,000 followers, but if those 10,000 followers are not in your niche or not in your industry or not your target audience, are they even helpful? They're only for the show.
Yeah.
What real impact is, how many people, let's say, saw your post, liked it, and then reached out to you or had you in the mind. So whenever they're ready for your service, they will reach out to you. They're your target audience, your clients, or who just booked a call with you. You got a lead. So that's way more impactful. And that is something that you can get to know, or your real profile growth is what you can get to know through the internal metrics that the outside world cannot see, that only you can see.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, crazy, because to be honest, I got it all wrong, right? Because I thought comments, likes were the one metrics to look out for. But as you said, so impression, if I recap, impressions. So how many people got to view your post, or that's the first thing. Then you said
Profile viewers.
profile viewers. So how many people have went to your profile to see it? And
Yeah.
you can actually, if I recall, on LinkedIn, I don't know if it's a premium feature, maybe, but you can actually see the localization of the people that came to your profile to see it and their level of seniority.
Yeah.
So they would tell you like
Yeah.
high executive
Yeah.
or recruiters or whatever. So it's actually, good data. Good
Yeah.
data for yourself.
Yeah.
And the third one was
Search appearances.
search appearances. So
Yeah.
how many times people have searched for something and have seen your profile?
Yeah, like
Okay.
how many times did your profile rank for in the search appearances, and for what keywords did it rank for?
Oh, it also shows you the
can
keywords.
also see the keywords, and that's one way to optimize your profile. So let's say you've optimized your profile, you think, okay, I've used all the keywords and it's good to go, but you can track whether your profile is ranking for the right set of keywords. Let's say after optimizing 2 to 3 weeks later, check what are the words that your profile is actually ranking for,
Oh my
whether you've done the work correctly or
Yeah.
not.
That's actually interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now I have work to do. I have work to do on my LinkedIn.
Yes.
Before we switch to the next session, do you have any tweaks that anyone could do on their LinkedIn profile, for example, now to just get a better attraction, better views, or anything we could apply?
So the
ourselves.
first thing, and I see this a lot, and not a lot of people pay attention to this, is adding all the sections on your profile. I would say some people have their cover picture blank, some people only have the basic information added. Oh yeah, this is enough, my basic LinkedIn is there. No, from top to the bottom, fill every section that you can. The featured section, something that people don't know. The project section, something that people don't know. These two specifically are the sections where you can add proof of work. Like when people visit your profile, they only have a few seconds to go through before they scroll to the next tab. So that's where you need to log their attention by showing proof of work. Like in the featured section, talk about you can add videos, any sort of media, any post that you've published before. So show your achievements, show the events that you have attended, industry events that you've attended, anything that kind of tells the audience or a stranger about what you do. So if we talk about my featured section, it shows about what I have done before. I have appeared at panels, I have given LinkedIn training, I've talked about my client results, all of that you can see in my featured section. So within the first few seconds, people build that credibility that this is the work that I've done. So they'd be more interested in reading my posts or reading more about my about section and all the other sections.
Makes sense. The thing is, you have to have all of the main information you want people to know about you to be the showstopper of your LinkedIn.
Yes.
So anything you think is important, put it out there. Actually do the work and fill out that LinkedIn profile. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So now, and that's another question I love to ask my guests, is kind of the messy starts, because we never get to see that. We see you guys when you're like already popping. So can you walk us through from the idea to the launch? How was it when you started? And how did you manage being a freelancer at first and managing a business? And I think for our audience, especially when you're a solo entrepreneur or you're a freelancer, how do you manage the quiet months, which is something that we are very scared of?
Right. So my story of personal branding, I would say, started with I was a senior content writer and content manager earlier in my career, and we used to create content for some of our clients for their LinkedIn posts. And I got the idea, if I can do this for my clients, why not for myself? So I started posting. I was an employed individual like any other person. So I was just talking about my work, my experiences, different topics, niches that I'm interested in, just creating posts around that. Then let's say a book that I read or what, struck me from the book. And these kind of random posts without any end goal. And within the first month, 2 of my posts blew up. And that gave me the motivation to keep going. And from that post itself, from those two posts itself, I got a job opportunity. I got freelance gig opportunities. And these were something that I was not even looking for, because I was like really happy being a content manager, managing my team and doing the work in content writing. But then I thought, okay, why not take it one step further? And I started giving workshops, LinkedIn training workshops for others who wanted to learn the same thing that I was doing and grow their LinkedIn profiles. And from those workshops itself, I got clients that, what you've done with your profile, we love it. Would you do the same for us as well? And these were like founders. And that's how I knew this is like a whole new industry.
Yeah.
This is like a whole new income stream. And I'm like, yeah, I think I should leverage this opportunity. So I got into freelancing. Honestly, I never even thought, that, because I didn't even know a personal branding strategist was a profession back at that time.
No, you created that profession for yourself, which I love.
Alhamdulillah, it came to me. But yes, so I leveraged that opportunity and I started freelancing and I got a few clients. And also, my aim was to move to Dubai. So I started positioning myself as marketing individual, as a personal branding strategist, moving to Dubai, transitioning to Dubai. And that's how I got a job in Dubai while sitting in India. So I thought, why not come here and, learn more about the market? So for 1 year, I was fortunate enough to get a job in the personal branding industry itself. And that year I built my network, I learned more about the industry. And then there was a point of time where I had two options, either to continue in the 9 to 5 or start my own thing. And then, I was literally at the crossroads that let me just do it for 1 more year, like, get a job for 1 more year, because Dubai is not an easy place to live. You have your expenses, and if you're getting a good salary, like, why do you want to give that up? But then I'm like, if I just keep going on like this, I will never be able to take that leap, right? It will always be on the side. It will always be a freelance gig. It will never be a whole business. So I'm like, okay, let's take that shot. So I started with one client, and I had some savings from my job. And alhamdulillah, I had faith. So this is something that I strongly believe in, and I know you do as well.
Yes.
So everything that I do is grounded in faith in the Almighty, and faith in myself, and the belief that whichever option I choose, it will be the right option, and whatever path that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will choose for me will be the right path. Having faith in that and confidently taking my decision. So I went with that. And I was a little scared about whether I would be able to manage and grow the business or not. But then I'm like, okay, we'll see. Now that I've taken the decision and I have complete faith in the Almighty, things will work out. Let's just go ahead. So I started. And alhamdulillah, it's been growing since then. I started in 2024, January, with one client, and more kept coming up. And the best part is, because of my personal brand, 90% of my clients are inbound. They see my content, they search for me on Google or now on AI as well. And they reach out to me. You won't believe, they search for personal branding strategist in Dubai on ChatGPT and on Gemini, and they get my contact and they call me. And alhamdulillah, that's why founders, you can get clients from Gemini and ChatGPT through your personal brand.
Yeah. So once again, invest in your personal branding, because, and that's me looking at your career from the outside. Personal branding gave you a purpose, gave you a career, and gave you a business. And now this same personal branding is feeding your business, because, as you said, most of the clients that you work with now have come to you through all of the work you do on personal branding and on making yourself visible for them to reach out to you.
Yes.
And that's the thing we sometimes forget. It's like it's a virtuous circle. So the more you invest in your visibility, the more you make yourself visible to anyone, and also the more you make your craft
Yeah.
visible to anyone. And that's
Yeah.
the thing where, same as you, I think it's very important, because at the end of the day, I do believe that if you choose a career that is authentically you, then what you provide to the world has a positive outcome.
Yeah.
And so by you making yourself visible, I mean, that's kind of stretching it out, but you're also helping, because I've seen, and I mean, looking from the outside, and the reason why I reach out to you is because I could see your work, I could see your content, I could see your visibility, and I saw your authenticity. And that's one of the first things. You want to be working with, or hire, or talk to, or invite, or engage with people that you feel you can trust.
Yep.
And trust can only be built around both people being fully genuine, being authentically themselves, and you connecting with their authentic self.
Yeah, I agree. All the events, all the opportunities that I got, and even my clients, the speaking opportunities, the collaboration opportunities, all of that comes from my personal brand and for my clients as well. But yeah, at the same time, running a business, you have the low months,
Yeah.
where you think that, oh, like, how am I going to manage? And, let's say not a lot of people are looking for the services at this point of time. For example, let's say Ramadan, everyone would be like more into doing ibadah, like more in their faith and less into work. So you would be like, oh, how do I manage the expenses? Or like, how do you keep your business afloat? I would say believe in yourself first of all, and then believe that whatever is written for you will reach you. This is something that I always believe in, that risk means even the income that you're getting, or any person, any opportunity, all of that, whatever is written in your nasib, in your destiny, it will reach you through whatever means. So have that thing in your mind, but also put the hard work. Like, of course, you cannot sit back. Put in the hard work, be consistent. And in fact, everyone says that Ramadan is quiet time, right? So I don't want to do a lot of work. But I say that's the opportunity you need to leverage. Like, show up more. While everyone else is silent, you're showing up more. And this is what personal branding is. Like, opportunities are lying around you all over the place. But if you're visible, they will reach you. So show up more, make yourself more visible, even if others are not. And that's how you build the advantage, the competitive advantage, and grab the opportunities.
No, I love that. And one thing I have to say that is common to every solo entrepreneurs, business owners, is that they seize the opportunities. Whatever opportunities come their way, they will be the one to grab it. Doesn't mean that they have more opportunities than others. It just means that when they see one, they're able to act upon it. And that's something that is common. And I have to say, I've been doing this podcast, I've been interviewing lots of people, and that's one thing that strikes me with anyone that has started a business, that has gone through the entrepreneurial journey, is their ability to seize opportunities wherever it lands. And sometimes it's not in a very nice package with a little bow on it, but you have to, as you said, get to work, do the work, and then believe. And that goes to the next part of this podcast, which I love, which is all about the human side of leadership, and coming back to kind of self-doubt, and how sometimes it can be scary, especially when you said you were doing this first move of leaving your 9 to 5 fully to commit to this new business industry. So can you walk us through? Do you still have self-doubt now that business is going well? Do you still have this moment of self-doubt? And when you do, what is your anchor? What helps you go through those moments where you doubt the business, you doubt yourself, and to keep going?
Yeah, of course, like any other individual, any other solopreneur, entrepreneur, I have those doubts. I look at others doing so well, and I'm like, maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I'm not getting enough. And I am like, I feel like I'm behind. I should have been at that level. But the thing is, about people who are hardworking and who have a vision or who have goals, their goalpost keeps moving further. So if we achieve our first goal, before even we achieved our first goal, we've already moved our goalpost further. So, if I look back and see how far I have come, I wouldn't think about that I haven't done anything. Like, I wouldn't feel that way, that I'm not doing enough, because I have done a lot. And this is the imposter syndrome. And some people take it negatively, but I take it in a positive way, that imposter syndrome pushes you to do more, to keep giving your best. And, if we feel like, oh, we're not doing enough, so we do more. But that's the best part about it. That's the good part. That's the positive part about it. So, and one thing that I always keep in mind is look at others who are doing better than you, but not to feel bad, but to seek inspiration. Like, wow, like they're doing so well. I need to do better as well. And put in the work. And like I always feel, luck sides with those who put in the work. No one gets lucky just by sitting at the back.
No, that's for sure. And coming back to what you just said before, one other thing is, as you said, you have to do the work and you have to believe in yourself enough to know that sky is the limit. So, you have to chase the next goal, but also you have to bear in mind, whatever choice you make, once you're grounded and once you have deep, deep, deep belief that there's, something bigger that is guiding your steps. And whether, as you said, you're a believer, I'm a believer as well. So for us, it's God. For someone else, it can be whatever they do believe in. But for me, for example, in those moments where I have so much self-doubt. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can get through the next day and if I made the right decision. I'm also relying on my faith to say, you know what, if this is the path for me, then it will be, and doesn't mean as you said, I'm not just sitting back and waiting for it to happen. But I have this belief that God will provide, and he will always be kind of your anchor. So once your faith is so big that it's influenced all of your decision, all of anything in your life, and that's the case. I think it's the case for you. It's also the case for me, where it's not even something on the side. Like it's just something that is so embedded in me that would transpire in everything I do.
Exactly.
And especially in my choices. So,
and there's an Arabic word for it that goes like tawakkul. It means that you have complete faith in the Almighty, that whatever path he chooses or wherever you are, things will work out. Just like, don't feel scared, keep going, and things will work out and you will get what you have to. So having complete 100% faith in him. Yeah.
I love that. I honestly, that's one of the, so I don't know how to say, concept of Islam that resonate the most to me, because I do believe in that. And I think it's so beautifully said. Like you have to put your faith into him and then kind of surrender, and by doing this, you achieve hopefully greater purpose. So very happy to have this discussion. So coming back to this last section of the podcast, it went by so fast. I mean, I'm having way too much fun talking to you. So that's a good thing, I guess.
Loving it.
So what legacy do you want to create for yourself? And not just for yourself, but for personal branding in general? And is there any figures you see out there that you really look up to, or that you think have inspired you and could inspire the future of personal branding?
So one thing about personal branding that I want people to understand is irrespective of your background or your position, understand that personal branding is not something that you're doing for the camera or for others to see. It's about putting your authentic self out there, because that's what is continuous, that's what's lasting, and that's what connects, like that's what will connect with the audience. Because if you just want to paint a perfect picture, that will be short-lived. Like,
Yeah.
that can only be for so long. You can only go to the studio and click so many pictures.
Yeah.
Right? People want the real stuff happening behind the scenes, because that's real and that's what they connect with, the raw stuff. And that's what you need to put out there. Like, you working in a factory, in the office, just doing your stuff, at home, just doing your thing. Authenticity is the foundation of a strong personal brand. So this is something that I want everyone to understand and follow and practice, not just for the sake of getting followers. Don't
Yeah.
do personal branding just for that sake. Do it for the sake of really connecting with the audience.
And also, coming back to what you just said, bear in mind that whoever is viewing your content is someone, either, at least for LinkedIn, either from your industry or from your network already, or someone that has similar taste. So in any case, even if you think, oh, what I'm doing is not that that important or will not interest a lot of people, actually it does. It does, because the audience you're talking to is already a captive audience that is attracted to your content already. So don't be shy. Just put yourself out there. Your audience will find you. We will find you.
Of course. Yes, your content attracts like-minded people. And a person that I have looked up to and still do would be Justin Welsh. You know, he's like the OG of LinkedIn. Like, when I started just even posting my first pieces of content, he was the person whose content that I looked up to, and till date I follow him and read his content and follow his content. He literally unintentionally taught me how to build a personal brand on LinkedIn. But he does, yes. A lot of his content is very informational, but also very inspiring. So the way he leads his life, the way he leads his business has had a lot of impact on me and my personal brand, yes.
So here you go, Justin Walsh. If you see this podcast, you're the one that inspire. I mean, a lot of people, but also our guest just there. So thanks to you. Now, still looking in the future, what's the next big challenge for you? Anything exciting? Anything you want to share?
Yes. So one major thing that I'm planning to venture into this year is personal branding on multiple platforms. So far we had been focusing on LinkedIn personal branding, and I love it. And I love that a lot of founders are understanding the importance of LinkedIn personal branding. But now I want to do 360-degree personal branding.
Oof.
And that's gonna start. We've already starting with the PRs, collaborating with news agencies and getting in the press releases for our clients. But the next step would be Instagram for personal branding.
Yeah.
So I have also started being active on it myself before, because I first have to walk the talk.
Yeah.
So I'm being more active on Instagram. You're gonna see a lot of insightful content on LinkedIn and personal branding on Instagram.
Drop your LinkedIn, drop your Instagram so we can follow you.
For sure. And I'm gonna do that for my clients also this year, inshallah. And that's, I think, a big step, but it's also slightly challenging because LinkedIn does not require a lot of production.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing that I do for my clients is I get into their shoes. I understand their thoughts and mirror their point of views and create that content for them, create that strategy and grow their profile for them. But for Instagram, we need a lot of videos, a lot of effort that goes in.
Yeah.
So it's going to be slightly like a whole another level of the process. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Well, I'm excited for you. I'm excited you're embracing a new challenge. Also scaling the business, because that means attracting different type of clients.
Yes, for sure.
Than the ones you had only for LinkedIn. But as you were talking, I'm thinking you're going to attract even more founders. So you and me are going to keep in touch, because I would love to have them, obviously, on the show. So now, kind of last two questions already for this podcast. And that's more for the next generation of solo entrepreneurs, of business owners. What is one kind of idea or misunderstanding we have about entrepreneurship that you would like to dismiss and stand straight for once and for all?
I think one big myth or assumption that people have about entrepreneurship is you need to have a legacy before getting into it. Like, if my father's doing it, I will do it. No, I mean, you can be the first person in your entire line, in your entire generation, or from your forefather, in your entire family, taking that leap, be that person who changes it for your entire family. And if you have an idea, do it. Take that leap, take that risk, because you're gonna get, okay, if it doesn't work out, I'm saying 99%, if you have faith in it, it will work out. But in case 1%, if it doesn't work out, you can go back to what you're doing right now. You can go back to your job. But for yourself, for that small belief that you have in your idea, do it for yourself and take that leap.
I love that. So, I mean, to be honest, and that's for the audience, it's very crazy because out of all the people we had in this podcast, taking that leap, dare, act, is the strong words they've all said to our audience, to everyone out there. It's 3 different people now telling you exactly the same thing. So if you still have doubts, I mean, it's on you, because all of them have been saying the same thing. And talking from personal experience, for me, as you said, I didn't have the blueprint. So, putting myself out there, trying to, understand entrepreneurship and start an entrepreneurial journey was not so easy because I didn't have anyone, as I said, in my family doing it. But taking that leap of faith of, you know what, I'm going to try it out. It works good. It doesn't. I'm still learning from it.
Yeah, for
sure. And it's still something that you can leverage either to come back to the corporate world, but with added skill sets, or just to learn learn that it's not made for you, or the opposite, learn that maybe that business venture was not made for you, but actually leads you to an even better, bigger business opportunity. So
of course, you're exploring your interests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also enjoy the moment. It's joyful. I mean, I'm not saying it's always, but I feel like it, especially at our age, being able to explore new things is not so easy, is not a given, and you should be happy to be in an environment where you can still offer yourself that kind of freedom to explore. So please take that leap of faith, do it. It's worth it. Now to wrap up, I can't believe it's already done. It's already the end of this podcast. One question I love to ask to any of my guests, and that's kind of the last question of this podcast. If you had to resume your entrepreneurship style into one song, or if you had one song you absolutely have to have in your CEO playlist, like the one you put in the morning that puts you into these shoes of I'm that girl, what would that be?
One song would be the English version of Waka Waka.
Oh!
You're a good soldier.
Yeah.
Choosing the battle. I think
Yes.
that's what hypes me up. That's like my hype song. I am the woman. I have to put myself out there every morning, give my best, 100%. And there are so many bad days, of course, but then every morning is a fresh start. And yeah, I'm gonna do it.
I love that. And big up to Shakira. By the way, she's coming to Abu Dhabi. We have to go.
Yes. We have to.
Okay, that's it. That's all for today. Thank you, Rashiqa. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. And I just loved the whole thing. It was not like we were recording a podcast, but we were talking and loved talking with you.
Yeah, talking like friends. Love it.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
bye.